Everybody get up the... I don't deny hard rock play at all, but what do you think about full combos? Do you think there's going to be any type of full combos here?
Well, given the meta of this map, like circle size 5, approach rate 8, I will say we will see 0 full combos. I don't think we will see any full combos here on this one. I mean, if someone goes with hard rock and they have like a great day for whatever reason, I can see something like a hard rock full combo being more likely than a normal full combo in this particular map, I will say. But still, it's a really weird map to have as a tiebreaker because you just don't know what to do. Because yeah, you can go hard rock, so you kinda get the approach rate 10 instead of 8, which is usually easier to read for most of the players, but then you sacrifice your circle size because the circles are just so little since it is 6.2. And the OD also grows up to 10, so...
Yeah, it's not a very good trade-off if you ask me. Like, the ability to just be able to read AR8 and have that calm, smooth, buttery movement is basically what is going to win this one. And, I mean, you know, that's a skill in its own right. And I do believe some of these players, I'm not giving them as much credit. You know, I know the meta's changed a lot to where it's like, oh, AR9 or 10 or bust, but I believe most of these players will be able to handle this to at least a competitive degree. Now, if everybody just outright tanks, I reserve my right to cackle like a maniacal hyena, because I will. Indeed, cackle.
Pretty much what friends said, I think over there, it was yeah, the Poon, may the gods of approach rate A be with you, and everyone will play no mod on this one. So playing it safe or not, that's super subjective.
They're going vanilla, boys, and make sure to get your support out. I can already see lots of support going. Take my energy, France. Take my energy, Taiwan. Get that out there, man. They definitely need your praise right now, as this is going to be absolutely crazy. We're already seeing an early break from Musty. He is not happy. He is having not the best of happy days.
OWC 2016 in Twitter. You can do it, guys. Show your support. But there we go. Seems like Taiwan will be holding a bit of a lead into the early beginning, but this is a long map as every single tiebreaker. And so far, despite Musty's break, seems like everything is pretty established. Like, both teams are holding relatively equal, as accuracy is not being a big thing over here.
Yeah, I feel like Rucker definitely wasn't going to have too many problems with this, and I was right, as he's holding a very impressive 99.81%, just destroying those large combos and sections. Really doing fantastic. Faust Llama finding himself an early miss there right after the break. Mr. Zomb also finding a miss, dropping down their combo. Seeming to have a little bit of issues with the longer streams. That's where it seems like they're getting tanked a little bit in accuracy. The Poon and Flask also finding misses.
Seems like France is not having a really good time on this one. Actually, I believe that this is a stomp by Taiwan already. Like, I don't really see France taking this back by any means. Just look at the accuracies from Filzadama and Mr. Zomb. This is actually the perfect example of why a team needs to have like a wider amount of cards to be played, because if you just cannot read approach rate 8, yeah, you can ban the hidden map that was AR8, that's sure, but what happens if you have a tiebreaker like that?
Yeah,
You're
the practice for AR8 was non-existent, maybe, and like that's something you have to take into consideration, Juan. I'm glad you say that, because AR8 is a part of the game. There's no ands, ifs, or buts on it, and it can be used in an axis of creating difficulty too. Just because AR9 and AR10 are faster and make things easier, you assume that they're actually higher on the difficulty totem pole. But as I've played this game and being here for so long, it's a very weird middle ground where I feel 8 is in between, and that's like where you start from. Anything lower is harder for me, and anything higher it provides more difficulty as well. But for the top players, it seems like 9 is that middle ground, and 8 is that super slow that they can no longer read stuff. But I mean, in all honesty, both teams are doing pretty well on this compared to your average OWC player being in a World Cup and everything, and most combos are doing pretty well. It's just, as you said, Taiwan got a huge lead at the very beginning out of the gate, and unless we just see a mega choke from Taiwan at this point, it looks like they might have a secure victory here.
pretty much so. Like, they just need a huge drop from Taiwan. But here's the thing, like, this tiebreaker is testing like approach rate 8 abilities most than anything, because the map itself is not really that complicated compared to stuff that we had previously in previous years, for example. But you can see that as soon as you can bring someone out of their comfort zone for whatever reason, doesn't matter how easy it is or how hard it is, they will have a lot of trouble as they are currently facing here. France is definitely keeping up right now with 100,000 combo, but Flask, whoa, be careful with that, because he just failed the song and it's close to the end. He managed to recover, but I don't think France even stands a chance against Taiwan over here. HP dropping the combo, only Rocket remaining. But the song is pretty much over. There's just no more time to recover. They just need a fail, and it's not likely going to happen.
No, I mean, there's almost a 600,000 point difference. Actually a little bit higher than that now. Rucker will find a miss there, which would have been awesome a little bit ago, but the consistency really helped Taiwan here. And the ability to hold consistency on those very long streams, the control needed to pull that off is very much apparent, but they will take this in tiebreaker by a very large margin too. Taiwan will bring that back, and the France boys probably not too happy.
Well, let's be honest. Even though they seem to have a lot of issues at the beginning, they got fairly high combos. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
1300 on pretty much everyone there. So they weren't that far away. They just happened to have a really rusty start, I will say. And that's probably mostly due to the fact that they were not too prepared for it. And not only that, they were like kind of demotivated, as you saw in the chat before. They were almost like ranting a little bit about the tiebreaker. And even if you dislike it, if you start with the wrong foot on that, like, you still have to win it. Doesn't matter if you like it or not, because if not, you're just being knocked out. And I believe that momentum, that was negative from France, and that's one of the reasons because they struggled so much at the intro, because they managed to stay pretty strong at the